You're listening to At Guitar Center with Nick Harcourt.
I'm Nick Harcourt. We're here with Cherri Bomb. We've got Julia, Miranda, Nia, and Rena. First of all, thanks for coming in and playing for us. Great to meet you.
Thank you so much for having us.
So tell us a little bit about Shake the Ground. This is the song that's in the Avengers soundtrack. Congratulations on that. How did the song come about?
Well, Shake the Ground is... it's a song about us taking control of our own lives and where we're going with it. And we actually named the album This Is the End of Control after one of the lyrics in the songs, because now we're in control.
Serve it up like I want some, but I don't want your opinion. Like a shotgun, trigger not to love it when you take one out. Take one out. I won't do what I'm told. I will break it down, take it down, shake the ground. Your dark sun leaves me cold. I will burn it out, wear you down, shake the ground. Choking from all the bridges that you're burning. You're not the leader of an army. I'm not the enemy. Step back down. Step back down. I won't do what I'm told. I will break it down, take it down, shake the ground. Your dark sun leaves me cold. I will burn it out, way down, shake the ground. So tight, you're broke. Your karma's killing me. I hope you know you'll never get to me. Your karma's gone. There's no more breaking me. This is the end of control. I won't do what I'm told. I will break it down, take it down, shake the ground. Your dark sun leaves me cold. I will burn it out, way down, shake the ground.
Lots to talk about, obviously. Why don't we start perhaps a couple of years ago and talk about the beginnings of the band. Now, Julia, you were the first one to get things rolling. You wanted to put a band together. How'd that come about?
I moved to California. My parents really supported me when I told them that I wanted to play music for the rest of my life.
When did you decide that, by the way?
When I was really young, younger than I am now.
Nice.
I was around 6. Like, that's when I started playing guitar, and I knew that I just wanted to play rock and roll. But yeah, I moved to California, and I wanted to start a band of my own with all girls who were my age, who just kind of, who had the passion like I did. And it took a while, but we, with the help of my parents, we put flyers up all around Los Angeles, like calling out for girls, who wanted to be in a band.
Now, let me ask you a question very, very quickly. Now, obviously, you are an all-girl band, but why did you want to be in an all-girl band? What was it? I mean, what sort of prompted that decision to make sure you were with a bunch of other girls?
I just thought it was really empowering.
Girl power.
Yeah.
Right
Well, we never say that.
I'll be careful with that.
No, I mean, I just always thought that being in a band with girls was something different and something that, it would just add an extra element to something so special. I just thought it was really empowering.
Okay, so you were already writing songs, obviously.
No.
No?
Not really. But I learned a lot of covers.
Okay.
I was first playing on an acoustic and singing. I played open mic nights before I was ever in a band. But I knew that being in a band was something that I really...
But I'm guessing when you decided you wanted to find a bunch of girls to be in a band, you weren't thinking covers.
No.
So tell us how it went from putting up flyers to actually getting the band together.
Well, we put up flyers and we put up ads on the internet too, on like Craigslist, and we got submissions from other people saying, "Well, yeah, I mean, I could play guitar, hero," and it's like that's not at all what I was looking for or anything. Like, I really wanted to play with other musicians and who really just genuinely loved to play. And so Nia was the first one. Hello. Nia was our first drummer who really brought stuff to the table. So we first rehearsed in like this studio, and I remember thinking that she was just amazing, and she was so good.
I was so nervous too. I was so nervous.
She was 11. We were both 11 at the time, and she was
This is doing my head in, by the way. Just so as you know.
She was amazing, and we were at the time we were just playing classic rock covers. We started out playing covers just to kind of get a feel for each other's playing and all that, and then. Miranda, she was in Florida at the time, so she sent in videos of herself, like, playing guitar and piano and singing. So Nia and I watched the videos, and we just knew that she was in the band right away.
Let me just back up 1 second then. So Nia, what's your background? When did you start playing the drums?
I started playing when I was about 7 years old. It started with like watching videos of drummers, watching Josh Freese from A Perfect Circle, or like Elon Rubin, or all these like different videos of people playing drums, and it just kind of felt right. I felt like even before I was drummer, I was like, that's what I want to do. That just feels right to me. So that's kind of how I started.
Do you know what it was about the drums, though?
I had a temper, and
you needed to work out some aggression.
Yes,
She
exactly.
still has a
Really
temper.
angry little.
It's a legal way to beat something to death.
Her teenage years were like when she was 5 years old. Like she was so angry.
Rebellion at 5.
Okay, so you'd obviously taken to the drums, and when you guys met, what was your feeling when you found this kindred spirit?
I was really nervous at first because, first of all, she had been playing like longer than I had been playing, so it was kind of like I was kind of scared at first going into the room and having her there and having a bunch of other musicians, and we're all playing, and I didn't really know the songs that well, and they were so tight as a band. I was like, I want to be a part of this, but I feel so nervous, and she's so good and like leading. I'm like, how do your fingers move that fast? But it was just kind of like, I mean, I knew I wanted to be in the band as soon as I met her, and it just kind of worked out.
So you said that there were obviously other people kicking around at the time, but then how did Miranda get involved? You said that she was sending in videos?
Yeah, she was, we're all from the East Coast, so she at the time, it was during the summer, she was just visiting her family in Florida, so she sent in videos, and yeah, we just kind of watched them, and we were like, wow,
We were totally in awe.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
She was a great singer and great guitarist, and she was awesome on the keyboard, and it was just like... It was something that we really needed in this band, which was, just someone who was so multi-talented. And then when she finally came back to LA and we rehearsed, that was it. It just really clicked. It mended together so well.
What was your background, Miranda? What was your first instrument?
Okay, well, my first instrument was my vocal cords, I guess. My mom sings, and she taught me how to sing from when I was really little. I mean, I was singing all my life. And my grandpa taught me piano starting at age 4. He asked me if I wanted to play, and I was like, sure, why not? And I never would have guessed that would have become, my love of life. And a couple years later, he started teaching me guitar as well, and I really liked doing all 3 of them. And that's why it was so perfect that I found this band where I could do all 3, and it became my life.
And what kind of music were you into at the time?
Well, I mean, I've been brought up with like every genre on the planet. I started out doing musicals, so I was into that kind of stuff. My dad listened to a lot of classic rock, so I was really into the Beatles, AC/DC, ZZ Top, which I still am. My grandpa's like a jazz pianist, so I listened to that a lot.
So you're surrounded by this stuff, obviously.
Yeah, music was all over the place.
So now we got the 3 of you together. You need a bass player.
Yeah, we asked Rena. She played guitar at the time. and we just asked her, can you learn a couple songs and we'll try out in rehearsal and let's just see what happens. So she played with us, and then we were just like, wow, what, this is perfect. So
Serena, you're playing guitar, and your sister's in this band, and they're like, can you play bass? I mean, what are you thinking at the time?
Well, I'd never thought that I'd be in the band. I knew I wanted to be in a band myself, but I never really thought about being in their band because they were so good, and I was just like playing guitar, and I was like a little kid, like the guitar's like 10 times too big for me, and I'd never thought about being in a real band.
I remember watching you playing guitar too.
I know.
Yeah.
It was so cute.
So cute.
And when they asked me, I was like, this might be a pretty good opportunity, and it's with my sister, and it's with people that I like. And
people she could deal with.
And it ended up working out, and I think bass is the right instrument for me.
So when this lineup finally gelled, what was your when did you first play out live?
Well,
Warner
Park.
Yeah. My first show with them was at Warner Park with about 30 or 40,000 people there.
It was like this.
It was like
festival.
4th of July.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
It was.
Then we got to see the fireworks after the show.
It was awesome. It just really felt like magic on stage.
It was
a
pretty
good show.
nerve-wracking. Like,
Yeah, it was.
first show being with 40,000 people, I mean, no big deal.
Yeah.
Oh, really? So where was this again?
This was at
This was at
Warner
Warner
Park.
Park.
It was like this huge 4th of July festival that
Right.
is, I think they do it every year.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
So there was a whole bunch of stuff happening.
Yeah,
and-
Yeah, and
There's like food stands and like
Yeah.
place you can get like little fake tattoos and everything.
and
It's
there's
really
like
cool.
a stage, and they just had bands playing all day, and we went on like later in the afternoon, I think.
yeah.
All right. So you start off by playing to, like you said, 40,000 people. Where do you go from there? I mean, what did you decide to do? I mean, once you had sort of played out, did you know that you wanted to write? Did you know you wanted to record? Did you need some help?
Yeah, we had of course we had a lot of help from our parents, all of our parents, and just we just had really great people to always support us. And just with the whole writing thing, we would take journal entries and we would write poems and kind of
Mix them together.
Yeah,
Actually,
we would.
those
I mean, we
songs.
would sit down together and share them, and it was just kind of based off of just what we were feeling at the time.
Now, songwriters write about their lives usually. I mean, some people make up stories, I guess, but most people that I've spoken to over the years say, "Well, I just write what I live." And obviously, you guys are a little bit younger than most of the songwriters I talk to, but your songs seem to be just about your everyday experiences of growing up. Is that fair to say?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we've all been through a lot, and we've all helped each other through things, so we really understand what we're going through. And also, when we write songs, we try to make it to where people can relate to it, so it's not just like a very specific thing. So other people can relate their life situations
Like
to it as
interpret
well.
it to their situation in life, so they feel like, oh man, they're singing about exactly what I'm going through.
So, Julia, tell us about Drawing the Blank. When did you write this?
Drawing a Blank is about when you're friends with someone or you're in a relationship with someone, and then the relationship takes a turn and you're not sure what exactly happened or whose side they're even on, and so you're just thinking to yourself, like, what happened? Where am I now?
Break it apart, just tear it down. The world is all so solid around. Gave you a chance, now I'm empty. Strangle my life, got the left on you. You're always
So you're very fortunate that you found a manager. A lot of bands will kick around for a long time
She's trying to take my job.
before finding. You were managing the band?
Yeah, managing the band.
Oh my god. She can't manage herself.
Obviously, we're talking about Samantha Maloney, who's actually here as well. So I'm going to bring you into this. I mean, you've played drums with. Well, I've got a list here. Why don't we just throw out Motley Crue and Hole as a start?
Round of applause.
Were you managing anybody else? How'd you get involved with these guys?
I got involved because I knew Nia and Rena's mother, Anna, who is a friend of mine. We met back in New York when they were about, I don't know,
We were
2
really
and
small.
3 years old. And me and Anna were writing some songs together. And then I moved to LA about a month later. And then Anna moved to LA a few years after that. And we kind of kept in touch. And then she told me one day a few years ago that her kids had a band. I was like, what? Aren't they 2 and 3? But, oh no, they're 10 and 11 or something. I was like, whoa, okay, I want to check them out. So I checked them out online. I think I saw the Warner Park show.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was in this band called Chelsea Girls. We were like the female Camp Freddy in LA. Yeah. And I needed an opening act, and I thought there's no one better than these girls to open up for Chelsea Girls for a show.
Oh, yeah.
And they played, and my friends and myself were all blown away at how talented they were. And I thought, God, they just need a couple more years, and they're going to be really, really good. And then cut to a year and a half later, I think, again, Anna calling me and saying, hey, check this video out. And I saw this video for the song called Spin. I said, oh, my God. And my intentions were I just wanted to get them the best manager possible. I've been in so many bands and managed by some of the biggest managers out there. And I thought, well, let me get them the best manager in the world. And then I had some meetings, and then a lot of people said to me, why don't you manage them? You know more about music than most managers do out there today. And I thought, whoa, okay, that's an interesting idea. So I just wanted the best for them. So I just kind of put my sticks down, and here I am. And here we are right now at
Gave
Guitar
your
Center with
sticks to
Nick
me.
Harcourt. Everybody, what the hell is
That deserved an applause. That was beautiful, Sam.
That was tear-jerking.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
What
I'm gonna go cry.
What made you decide to do it, though? I mean, you know, it's 4 girls, obviously, and I'm sure you could relate to the energy that they create as 4 young women. And being in a lot of bands and dealing with guys, I'm sure, through the years. Did you feel like they needed a female guiding hand rather than getting sucked into the music business?
Well, I mean, the Runaways had the Kim Fowley. Everyone was like, oh,
Yeah, and look how that ended up.
So, just any guy that manager that wants to manage a bunch of 13-year-olds, people are going to be like, whoa, that's creepy. So, my intention was I've been through so much, and I the highs and lows, and I know how women are treated differently sometimes, and sometimes I get a lot of respect in this business because I've been through a lot of situations being in bands with all girls or all guys, but I just wanted to guide them on the right path and show them the right things to do, and more importantly, the right things not to do. I've been in some bands with people where they're the poster child for any anti-drug campaign out there. So I really am. I try and lead them on the right path.
Now, what about recording and songs? When you got involved, did they already have stuff that was recorded? When did you first start writing songs that you actually recorded?
We started
We
writing.
had recorded a little bit.
We started writing. When was the?
It was mostly demos, though.
Yeah, we did a couple demos. Had we done the EP yet?
No,
we hadn't done the EP.
In the beginning, we recorded a couple demos.
Yeah, it was
we were
around
still,
the time Rena came in when we started
yeah,
writing.
I mean,
and
we were
everything.
still trying to find our sound and who we are, and since we were young and stuff like that, and trying to find our own individuality, it was just all happening at the same time. So we didn't really. We recorded our EP in 2011.
Yeah.
So I mean, it took a while for us to really find our style and really just kind of say like, okay, this is where we're headed. But it was just all kind of, it took a while to just find that.
How'd you hone that in? I mean, you say it took a while to find it. How do you find something like that? I mean,
I think
you just feel
sorry
it.
for interrupting. I think it's always evolving. I don't think you ever find something and stay with that forever. I think it kind of sometimes it changes, and sometimes you come back to what it was, and then you change again. It's always moving forward,
Progressing.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you just know, like you just feel it.
The thing also that was really exciting about working with them was that they're all, as individuals, they sing, and they each have a song on the album, at least one song on the album. So I thought that was exciting. And there's not many bands out there that every person in the band, including the drummer, gets to have her own song and sing. So I wanted to make sure that they all had at least a song on the album.
you know, they did let Ringo have one song on.
One song too many.
Oh, Sam.
Are we talking Yellow Submarine or Octopus's Garden? Or?
Miranda's the Beatle expert, so
That's true.
Well, let's talk about the songwriting. So you all write songs. How does a song come to the band? How is a song presented to the band?
Well, every song kind of starts off differently. I mean, some of them start with us like sharing poetry with each other. Sometimes we have poetry readings. Sometimes we'll lock ourselves in a room and start a riff and go off from there. We lock ourselves in there, even if it ends up in a fight.
Yeah.
I mean, it all. So sometimes one of us will bring an idea to everyone else. It really depends.
Once you bring an idea in, though, does everybody then contribute to it, and you kick it around, you jam it?
Yeah,
Or...
we will like change things around, try to find some
a
lyrics.
melody.
Yeah.
And usually when we're experimenting, Nia will put on like GarageBand and just let it record. So we
It's
record
true.
our writing sessions
I have like 4 hours from every session we've ever had.
Yeah,
Like,
and you
of
just
us just talking and arguing and like
Yeah.
then writing a little bit, and then we have to like
It's
go
coming together.
Yeah.
and-
It's just,
Well, you know, I was asking you just a little while ago about how did you find that style, or how did you find your sound? Maybe I could ask each one of you. Maybe this might reveal something. Each one of you individually. Maybe start over here with Nia. Like, who's the biggest influence on you as a songwriter?
I would have to say Maynard from A Perfect Circle and Dave Grohl. Some of their lyrics, like when we were singing, when we were just jamming on, what were we jamming on earlier? We were jamming on Everlong and
My Hero.
My Hero especially. There's
And-
just
but
like the
honestly-
second verse totally like makes me want to cry. It's like, don't the best of them bleed it out. Like some of his lyrics just make me like, I don't know, it's just so empowering and makes me want to just write for hours and hours. It really gets me inspired and makes me want to just do art all the time. So those two writers especially like make me just like make my heart beat faster.
What about Rena?
I'll have to agree with that. And also, Julia recently got me into bands like Sleeping with Sirens and Of Mice and Men and bands like
They're
that.
good guys.
Yeah, and I've listened to the lyrics and I've looked up the lyrics of their songs, and they're more powerful than I thought they would be. But their lyrics really.
They've gotten. I've been a fan of those bands like for a couple years, and they've gotten me through a lot of hard times. So they're inspiring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll have to add on Marilyn Manson. And Nia and I have been listening to Marilyn Manson since we were like
In the womb.
in the womb. and his lyrics, they make me laugh.
And kind of get angry.
Julia?
I'm really inspired by Gerard Way and the rest of My Chemical Romance. They're like the band that has like, wow, they're so powerful to me and they mean so much to me. They're kind of like implanted in my heart. So I mean, I'm so inspired by their message, their music, the way that their style, just everything. That's the number one band for me.
And Miranda is a songwriter.
Yes, Paul McCartney is my main inspiration. I've always was inspired by how he could write a song about like the wall and it would sound good. Like he can write about anything and I'll enjoy it or I'll connect to it. And actually, more recently, I've gotten into Regina Spektor, and I've always loved how she writes. So it's so quirky and so Like it just goes off on its own tangent. I don't know how to explain it. But Rena
got her
and I
own
listen to
genre.
her. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I really love her style.
I was listening to, it's just funny how things happen. I was listening to, I went through a whole bunch of CDs that sort of arrived back at my doorstep the other day. And one of them was, it's called Wingspan, and it's got all the Wings hits on it, and it's also got all the other songs. And I was listening to it myself, and I was just thinking, this guy was amazing. Because, I mean, you think about him with the Beatles, but then there's all this other stuff as well.
Yeah.
And it's true, he can write a song about anything. And some of them perhaps he shouldn't have done, but most of them are genius.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a diverse, obviously, a bunch of influences here. When you recorded the EP last year, you did a Foo Fighters cover, obviously, which got a little bit of attention.
Yeah.
Why did you decide to do that?
I think that was one of the biggest inspirational bands for all of us as a band, and they definitely helped us find who we were.
Dave Grohl's a badass, so we just look up to him.
Yeah.
But why did you decide to record The Pretender?
Because the message of that song, I think it's just something that reaches out to us so much.
How about the album? You've got the album now, obviously.
Yes.
And
This is the end of Control.
where was it recorded?
Oh, it was recorded in Orange County with our producers in a team called Red Decibel. They're really awesome. We recorded this album. It took us, a couple months, like 4 months, or maybe 3. Wait, 2? I don't remember. We got back from Europe. We toured Europe like all summer. So then we got back, and I think we started recording in October, and then we
went
finished
up-
before
yeah.
the end of the year.
We went there almost every day, just recording,
Yeah.
and it was so great going there because we'd
spend hours
Yeah, we'd
there.
spend hours there. It was practically like we lived there, and every time we go, we would just expect to like do a drum track or do a guitar track or do a vocal or whatever, and it ended up in another song like popping up. And of
A
course,
lot of it was, like, spontaneous, too.
It was great and creative, but it just kind of made it harder to pick what song was going to be on the album. But it was so great, and the vibe was so amazing.
You talked about producers. Who produced?
Their names are Adam Watts, Andy Dodd, and Gannon Arnold.
Now, how did that come about? How did working with these guys come about?
It started out with kind of like we were going to write with them and everything, and we were all going to do all these songs, and it ended up like the demo sounded really great, and we're just kind of like, we should just let them produce it. Like, they're amazing songwriters, and they're amazing producers. So that's kind of how it came about, where they produced the album.
So what did they bring to the songs that weren't already there?
I think they brought more power and oomph and confidence that definitely added to this our music, and I don't know, like our personalities gelled with them, and we got along really well.
It really just formed something so magical, just a great bond, and something just I don't know, it made it a great experience the whole way.
So how do you feel that the sound of the band has shifted or changed because of that process?
I think it stepped up from our EP. It kind of evolved as we did, and they definitely helped us through it. I mean, we've all evolved as people, and so therefore we've evolved as a band.
So Nia, tell us about Too Many Faces.
Too Many Faces is a song about thinking you know someone and then seeing a whole completely different side of them and then realizing they're not the person you expected them to be.
talked about touring a little bit earlier on, being over in Europe. What's that like for you guys, touring as a young band? Obviously, you're on stage with 35-year-old guys or whatever, indie rock bands or metal bands or whoever it is you're touring with. I know you've opened up for Foo Fighters, you mentioned, and
that was
Smashing
awesome.
Pumpkins and people like that. I mean, you're on stage with middle-aged guys basically, or opening for them. What is that experience like? First of all, playing with some people who you regard as heroes, and then secondly, playing in festival situations where you've got these bands who've been around a little while, and you're sort of the newcomers.
I think
It's
it feels like home.
Yeah, it's been great. We love festivals so much because there's always bands that we want to see. And
Music everywhere.
yeah, it's so great. And also on traveling festivals like at Soundwave in Australia, you get to bond with the bands, and even though they're even though they're older, like most of them were in their younger 20s, but even though that they're older, they there's a level of respect that
They were
we
like
share.
big brothers to us. They protected us, and we would all just hang out, and they just it was so
They
We
talk
made
to us
so many
like people
friends.
instead of like kids.
Yeah, it's great because I mean even in just European festivals and stuff like that, it's just been so great. Like getting up on stage, even no matter like how early or how late it was, like there was always people there who were just dying to hear music. So they were so welcoming, and it really gave us
it gave us motivation.
yeah, definitely.
Do you all have any rituals before you go on stage, either together or
Yes.
anything you can share?
Yeah, sometimes we will listen to Best of You by the Foo Fighters. We'll watch the video and sing along to it.
Yeah.
And it really pumps us up, and then we'll, like, go crazy and then run on stage.
Yeah, we usually, but like, just always, we always have a great show when we're manic right before.
Oh, that's true.
Like-
Whenever we're like sleepy or tired before,
So
the
just a
show's
lot of
not-
coffee and Red Bull.
well,
and-
exactly.
Also when we're pissed off at each other, we have a great show. Like when we're agitated and we're really angry, or
Our
in a
focus
bad
totally
mood.
centers.
Oh yeah, we
and-
go on stage and we
like,
get off. Yeah, we like
Digging
we
into
get
it.
off and we're like,
That wasn't so bad.
that was a good show.
Now, we haven't said exactly how old you are, but you're still at school, some of you, still doing...
All of us.
All of us.
Yeah.
So
Myself.
how do you juggle being on the road in Australia, touring with a touring festival like Soundwave, and then coming home and doing schoolwork? How
Well,
does,
we're
how does that all fit
homeschooled
in?
and it's online.
So you just
we-
basically do it online?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
we
mean,
do whenever we can.
we fit it in on tours every now and then. There's not really much time, but then we go home and bury our heads in it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just something we try to balance out, but it's hard, so we just fit school in, like, at any spare moment.
We mentioned some of the bands you've played with. Is there anybody out there playing right now that you would like to play with? Anybody that...
Paul McCartney.
There were so
My
many.
Chemical Romance, wait, do you want the list?
No, you don't want the list.
it's a long
Wait,
list. huh?
Paramore, My Chemical Romance, let's just give a couple.
Yeah.
All right.
Wait, Limp
Paramore,
Bizkit?
My Chemical Romance, Limp Bizkit.
Oh my god, Blink-182.
Blink-182. And some of the bands you guys like a lot.
Oh my god, Falling Reverse, Sleeping with Sirens. All the bands on Warped Tour, because they're really talented and they're really cute.
They
I
have
was
to be
going
cute.
to ask what the what the requirement was, but now...
Oh yeah, they gotta
Now
be
you
cute.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be cute.
So you've played Australia, played Europe. Is there any favourite place you guys have been to so far that you'd like to go back to and
Amsterdam.
Amsterdam.
Oh, okay.
We
Amsterdam
didn't
and
actually
Australia.
play Amsterdam.
We played outside
We played
of
Australia.
Amsterdam.
We didn't play
Right.
Amsterdam.
We actually we were in Europe and a festival in Belgium got canceled, so we had the day off and we went to Amsterdam and it was the coolest city
Everyone
ever.
was so nice. First of all,
Yeah.
and
Cute.
it was totally cute.
really cute.
I thought like it.
It was
They rate
awesome.
the cities on whether the boys are cute or not.
We have a list.
That's
There were more things about Amsterdam that we liked.
No, there
The
were
food
it
was awesome. The food
And
was
the boat
great.
ride.
and
boat
everyone
ride.
was just so kind, and that was great. But
I want to go back to Australia though.
Yeah,
I do too.
Australia,
Soundwave
I-
was amazing.
yeah, I'd love to go back to Australia because Soundwave treated us so well.
And it was so organized. It was one of the most organized festivals we've ever been on.
We
It was
went
like-
from there to South by Southwest, which was the total opposite because it was like total chaos.
Yeah,
It was fun.
but either way, I love festivals and
It was also exciting for Nia and Rena to meet Marilyn Manson.
our fake uncle.
I didn't know this story until they just told me right before we went on tour with Manson that they grew up. Their mother and father told them that Marilyn Manson was their uncle, so they got Christmas presents from Marilyn Manson.
From Marilyn Manson, from Aunt Madonna, from Aunt
Uncle Trent
Blondie.
Reznor.
Aunt Blondie. Excuse me, Aunt Debbie Harry.
Oh, look, there's a picture of her right there.
Let me ask you: do you guys feel the need to? I mean, do you feel like you have to prove yourself as a younger band or as an all-girl band? Do you feel any special pressure around that stuff?
Well, people do have their first ideas of what we're going to sound like. And it's always nice to get a reaction out of them, like, oh, it's not what I thought they were. But, you know, so many people have been supportive. And, I mean, we don't really have to...
I think at first, like when we were a little younger, like not in our teens yet, it was harder because we didn't really have any music out. But now that we've released our album and that we have more music, people know what we're about. And I think just little by little, we're getting more and more support, and it's great.
You know, a big part of the music business these days is getting your music licensed into TV, movies, or whatever. And you did okay. You got Shake the Ground in the Avengers.
Yeah. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, it was okay.
You know, that's quite a sink in probably, you know, one of the top movies ever from a grossing point of view. How did that come about?
Well, the label was putting out the Avengers soundtrack, and I said, well, we should be on it.
We're signed.
Boom, make it happen. There you go.
We're signed to your label. You should put us in the movie.
Yeah.
As simple as that.
Yeah. It was that easy.
Oh man.
Ask and you shall receive. They had a great rock, a roster of a bunch of different rock bands, and Cherry Bomb's Shake the Ground. The label thought it would fit perfectly as part of the soundtrack, so we were honored to be a part of it.
What kind of impact can that make for a young band?
Exposure,
yeah.
And the fact that it's with the Avengers, which is
yeah,
awesome.
the biggest movie of all time. Well,
One
of
of
the
them.
biggest movies.
We're hoping to get
It's
a
up
lot of
there.
Comic-Con fans and nerds that will be in.
I'd like
Yes.
to meet Robert Downey Jr.
Me too. He's got a shapely
He's
butt.
very shapely.
Yeah, he's very nice.
Now, when you say shapely,
Do you really want to know? Do you
I
really
don't know
want
if you want to go
question?
into this.
They like his bum.
say
Yeah,
whatever
he's
you
got
want
a
to
great
say.
butt.
Okay, he has a
does.
Got a great
nice ass.
ass.
When we watched Sherlock Holmes,
Never seen it myself.
Man,
Never really took too much notice, but anyway.
You should
should next
You
time.
should next time.
Yeah,
Cheers.
look at it.
Watch
It's great.
Iron Man.
It would be really weird for another middle-aged man to be looking at a middle-aged man's backside.
I think it's normal.
That's all I'm
as long
saying.
as you don't like.
It's okay.
It's okay
It's
in
Robert
LA.
Downey Jr.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Everything's okay now.
So, Samantha, what are some of the challenges do you think these guys face as a female band in the music industry right now? I mean, the industry's changed, it's shifted. Nobody really knows what's going on, but we're still talking about an industry that's predominantly run by guys. What are the challenges?
Tell me about it. Well, the challenge. I had an interview with Billboard magazine a couple weeks ago, and the writer asked me, "Okay, so is this band for real?" So, and I said I made sure that we taped every single recording session so that we could show anyone that yes, Nia is playing the drum
Oh,
part.
so when they're saying is it for real,
They don't even think it's a real band.
Got
And then I get the question asked all the time, but why did you sign with Hollywood Records, which is part of the Disney family? And the truth is, we had a lot of labels interested in this band, and Hollywood Records was the only label that kind of knew how to talk to kids their age. They've dealt with other young acts.
Disney artists, obviously.
Disney, yeah, Jonas Brothers and Miley, and so people see Hollywood or Disney and they think, oh, this band must be put together. And I'm
So
like,
it's a double-edged sword then, really, because you're getting a label that's experienced with dealing with younger people, but at the same time, the perception out there in the jaded music press
yeah,
is otherwise.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I just put these girls up on the stage, and then you can see that they're singing, they're playing their instruments.
And plus, like,
They're the real deal.
we play at metal festivals and rock festivals all around the world. So it's like, given that, I mean, we are a real rock band, and just watch us live, and that's it.
What about image? What about fashion? How much does that play into it for you guys? First of all, personally, in your own personal style, and then obviously being in a band and being up on stage and wanting to be noticed. I mean, how does that all play into it?
Plays a lot into it. I mean, we're like all really different individually, so we love looking just kind of.
Well, our fashions like express who we are.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
They don't have stylists or anything. This is who they are.
We are our
And
stylists.
that's another question I get asked.
Yeah, like,
but
who's your stylist?
Actually, Sam is their stylist sometimes because they have Sam-me-downs, as they call
Oh,
it.
yeah,
My
we do have
clothes.
hand-me-downs.
I give them my hand-me-downs, so I didn't know that they started calling them Sam-me-downs.
You laughed so hard when you realized we actually called him that.
It's clever. Thank you.
What about gear? Do you guys have any?
gear.
Yeah, well, we're in Guitar Center, obviously, surrounded by beautiful
Gear.
gear. As a friend of mine says, it's like porn coming in here for a musician.
Oh,
you know?
totally.
Close your eyes, ladies.
But I mean,
close my eyes.
do you have any particular guitars or equipment that you guys like to use?
Yeah, we're endorsed by Schecter, so we have Schecter guitars. She has bass, and we love
DR
Schecter.
string.
Yeah.
That answers that question,
Yeah,
basically.
Schecter. And then Nia plays.
DW, man, and Zildjian. That's awesome. I mean, I love being on Soundwave. We had a DW kit, which was like the best because it was so easy to work with, and it sounded really, really good. And Zildjian cymbals are just. I've always loved Zildjian. They're like handmade. And not like we had a test when we went to the Zildjian factory the other day, where we tested a bunch of the same size, exact same cymbal, but they all sounded different. It was great.
Where is the Zildjian factory?
Well, the factory's in Boston, but they have an annex in Los Angeles
Excuse
and
me, that's
Burbank.
what I meant.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure who made those things. If they were just tiny little people somewhere.
Munchkins.
It was great to meet you guys.
It was great meeting you too.
Thanks for playing for us,
Thank you.
and obviously giving us a little bit of an insight into the music. Be sure to pick up Cherri Bomb's debut album, This Is the End of Control, at cherrybomband.com, and iTunes available now. And visit guitarcenter.com/podcast for other great podcasts and exclusive content. I'm Nick Harcourt. Thanks for listening.